Let's now talk about UPC and ALU generation. Now, UPCs and ALUs are used to identify and locate items. Maybe it's in inventory, or maybe the item needs to be located on a receipt at point of sale. Now, it's very common for UPCs and ALUs to be converted to barcodes, which allows you to scan the barcode for quick lookup, right? Now, what makes them different? UPCs, also known as Universal Product Codes, are typically provided by the supplier, right? So I'm going to write this down for you. Typically supplied by the manufacturer. Certainly not always, but that's usually the case, is that they're provided by the manufacturer, and they're typically 13 characters long. And again, this information will be used to locate items quickly, to uniquely identify an item, and then locate the item. Now in Retail Pro, we actually have two different UPC fields. We have something known as a global UPC, and then we also have a local UPC. And we'll talk about global versus local UPCs in more detail later on, but for now you should realize that global UPCs are used potentially to generate the item SID. And local UPC is used for item lookup purposes. So when you're scanning a barcode in order to list an item at point of sale, you're probably scanning the local UPC field. Okay? And if you're generating SIDs based on UPC, you're using the global UPC for that information. Now the ALU, in contrast, is typically an in-house identifier. So this is a ID that is typically provided by the retailer. So for example, you might have a retailer that has a unique material number. Well, they can store that material number in the ALU field. Okay? Now the ALU can track up to 20 characters. Now what if you don't have either a UPC or ALU? So the supplier did not give you a barcode, a UPC, and you don't have an in-house identification system. Well, in that case, Retail Pro can provide this for you. So Retail Pro can generate the UPC or the ALU for you if you need it. If you need it for lookup purposes, right? And I'll show you how to do this. Now, one quick word here. For ALU generation, so if you're allowing us to generate the ALU for you, the ALU can also include some miscellaneous information. For example, I'm going to write this down for you. Vendor code, store code, department code, size and attribute, even the date and time, and lastly, description to information. So in addition to the ALU number, we can include this other information in there as well. And there are some advantages for doing that, which I'll talk about later on. So that's it. That is UPC and ALU. And again, they're used for lookup purposes and to identify items in inventory. And if you need to, we can generate the ALU and UPC for you.